Morning friends, welcome back to PDF tutorials. In the last lecture we have discussed about two types of refractive indices, relative refractive index and absolute refractive index. Formulas for them: eta 21 is equals to ratio of sine of angle of incidence to sine of angle of refraction is equals to speed of light in incident medium upon speed of light in refracting medium is equals to absolute refractive index of refracting medium upon absolute refractive index of incident medium. Look at this, sin theta 1 upon sin theta 2, v1 upon v2, but here it is eta 2 by eta 1. So please be careful. Absolute refractive index eta 1 is equals to c by v1, eta 2 is equal to c by v2. Let us see example from textbook page number 176. See, light enters from air to glass. So if you give air as medium number 1 and glass be medium number 2, because light is going from air to glass. Having the refractive index 1.50, so this 1.50 is the refractive index of glass with respect to air. But we know that with respect to air means it is one type of absolute refractive index. So we can have refractive index of glass is given as 1.50. What is the speed of light in glass? The question is speed of light in glass. The speed of light in vacuum is given as 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. So that is the value of C. C is equals to 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. So obviously here the incident medium is air. So we can use the formulas for absolute refractive index. Absolute refractive index formula, we can take the reference like this, that eta 1 is equals to C by V1. Here we can write eta of G, absolute refractive index of G means glass, is equal to C by Vg. What is missing in all these three? Say eta G is given as 1.5, C is given, Vg is missing. Therefore, the next step would be, let us make Vg as a subject. So V of G is equals to C by eta G. Therefore, Vg is equals to C. Value of C 3 into 10 raised to 8, and refractive index of glass 1.5. So 1.5 2s are. So final answer, speed of light in glass is 2 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. Another example. The rays of light enters from glass to glycerine. Glass to glycerine. So first medium is glass. Let's say medium number 1, and glycerine be medium number 2. So rays of light enters from glass to glycerine having absolute refractive indices 1.5 and 1.47 respectively. So 1.5 is the absolute refractive index of glass and 1.47 absolute refractive index of glycerine. So glass having medium number 1, so eta 1 is given as 1.5 and eta 2 is given as 1.47. The question is, find the refractive index of glycerine with respect to glass. Relative refractive index of glycerine with respect to glass means refractive index of 2 with respect to 1. So they are asking for eta 2 1. So now, which formula we can use for eta 2 1? We have three different formulas for eta 2 1. Eta 2 1 is equals to sin theta 1 upon sin theta 2, v1 by v2, and eta 2 by eta 1. So I think we can use the last formula. So eta 2 1 is equals to eta 2 1 is equals to eta 2 by eta 1. Therefore, eta 2 1 is equals to eta 2 1.47 upon eta 1 means 1.50. So it would be 147 point upon 150, and therefore eta 21 division of these two will be 0.98. So refractive index of medium 2 with respect to medium 1 means refractive index of glycerin with respect to glass is 0.98. One more example. The refractive index of light entering glass from water. So incident medium is water, refracting medium is glass. Medium number 1 is water, medium number 2 is glass. The ray enters from water to glass. So water, medium number 1, glass, medium number 2. Again, the refractive index of light entering glass from water is 1.12. So here, what is this 1.12? 1.12 here is the refractive index of glass with respect to water. So it is nothing but the eta 21 is given as 1.12. Now find absolute refractive index of water. Absolute refractive index of water means they are asking to find eta 1, absolute refractive index of water. If absolute refractive index of glass is given as 1.5. Okay, now what is the missing term here? Eta 1. Again, I think we can use the last relation, that eta 21 is equals to eta 2 by eta 1. So eta 21 is equals to eta 2 by eta 1. Eta 1 is missing here. So let us make the eta 1 as a subject of the formula. Eta 1 is equals to eta 2 by eta 21. Put the values. Eta 2 is 1.5 and eta 21 is 1.12. Put the values. So it will be 150 by 112. So division of this would be, the answer will be 1.34. So eta 1 means absolute refractive index of water is 1.34. So these are some very easy problems of refractive index. Okay, so next topic is about lens. Very important topic. Already we have seen about the mirrors, that there are two types of mirrors, concave mirror and convex mirror. We know that the mirrors are formed from hollow spherical glass. Remember, lenses are made from solid sphere of glass. You can imagine, see, mirrors were the reflecting devices and lenses are here the refracting device. There are two types of lenses. First is convex lens and second is concave lens. Convex lens means in which both the refracting interfaces are outwards. This is first refracting surface. See, it's a solid piece of glass. It is not hollow, it's a solid piece of glass. Okay, you can imagine, here is air medium, here is glass medium. They are made up of glass, and again it's air medium. So air, glass, air. So if you think about one of the light ray going from air to glass, so this is the first interface number 1, at which the refraction occurs. This is refracted ray. Now again the ray is changing the medium, coming from glass to air again. So this would be the second time diffraction. So these interfaces, first and the second, if you see carefully, both the interfaces are considered as a part of one of the solid sphere. Okay, in the convex lens, both the interfaces are pointing outwards while in concave lens both the interfaces are pointing inwards. In this also, this is first interface and here is the second interface. Again it's a solid piece of glass, and again you can consider both the interfaces are a part of some solid sphere of glass. So in both the types of lenses there are two interfaces, and based on the type of interfaces we have two types of lenses, convex and the concave. Again consider it against one of the convex lens. For this interface you can consider this is a solid sphere of glass, and this is another solid sphere of glass. Now if you see carefully, this is the first solid sphere of glass, and this can be the center of that solid sphere, and this can be the center of the another solid sphere made up of another refracting surface. Now if you cut these spheres, so now this is lens. Now this is no longer the solid sphere of glass, now these are the lenses only, but this center now called as center of curvature, as we have discussed already in the cases of mirrors. This can be the center of curvature number 2. Center of curvature 1 and 2, because there are two curved surfaces. In the mirrors we were having only one curved surface, so there was only one center of curvature in the case of mirror. But in the lenses we have two curved surfaces, so respectively we have two center of curvatures, center of curvature number 1 and center of curvature number 2. Again it's a convex lens. This is center of curvature C1 and this is center of curvature C2. This is center of curvature of this refracting surface, this interface, and this is center of curvature of this refracting surface. So there are two centers of curvature for two respective interfaces. Okay, now if you pass the imaginary line from C1 and C2, so the imaginary line passing from C1 and C2 called as principal axis. So just like in the cases of mirrors we have seen the center of curvature, radius of curvature, principal axis, all the terms we have to repeat here in concave and convex lenses. Let's see. So the first terms related to lens. First term, center of curvature. So there are two centers of curvature, C1 and C2. In case of convex lens, C1 and here is C2. And the case of concave lens, C1 and C2. See, this C1 is the center of curvature of this interface, and C2 is the center of curvature for this interface. And here in the concave, if you see, C1 is the center of curvature of this interface. We can imagine the solid sphere, and respectively we can assume C1 and C2. Okay, imaginary line, the second term, let us say radius of curvature. Radius of curvature. So I think this is radius of curvature. So this distance is called as radius of curvature number 1, and from this point to this one, this is called as radius of curvature number 2. Here in the concave, this distance is radius of curvature R1, and this distance is radius of curvature R2. Okay, now imaginary line passing from C1 and C2. In both the cases, imaginary line passing from C1 and C2 is called as principal axis. So in the mathematical notation we can write principal axis means line C1, C2. Fourth and the very important term, center of lens. Center of lens. Look at this. This is lens. As we know, it's a solid piece of glass. The center of this lens, not center of curvature, it's the center of refracting solid piece of glass means lens. Here is the center. Here is the center of lens. In the convex is here. In the concave, center of lens is here. So center of this lens is called as optical center. Center of lens is called as optical center. Here is optical center. Symbolically, optical center represented as O. So the fourth term to be remembered is optical center O. Center of curvature C1 and C2, radius of curvature R1 and R2, principal axis is imaginary line C1, C2, and optical center is O. And now the most important part again, if you consider one of the object, see in the case of mirror, if you remember, consider this is concave mirror, this is principal axis. This point was called as pole. Here was the center of curvature. Here is principal focus. This is colored part. So we cannot place the object on right hand side. We have to place the object on the left hand side. So if you place any one of the object at the infinite distance, the rays coming from that object are always considered parallel to principal axis. So same logic can be used here. But one thing is different, that here both these are refracting surface. So we can place the object on any one of the side. So if you consider one of the object placed on any one of the side at the infinite distance, again we can consider the rays are coming parallel to principal axis. So if I draw the diagram again, consider here is the lens, this is principal axis C1, C2, and here is the optical center. So we can place the object on any one of the side of lens at the infinite distance. So the rays coming from infinite distance are always parallel to principal axis. Consider these are some rays coming from infinite distance. Now we know that there are two different refraction is going to be occurred. Right now these rays are coming from air entering into glass medium, and then they are going to again come out in the air medium. So 2 times refraction. Instead of showing 2 times refraction, what we do, we are showing the average refraction. So what you will do, you just take the ray up to the middle part of lens, and then you show only 1 time refraction like this. So this phenomena is called as average refraction. Consider again, we have placed the object at the infinite distance from the lens. So the rays coming from that infinite distant object are always considered parallel to principal axis. The rays are refracting on the other side, and they are focusing at one of the common point on the principal axis. So when the rays are coming from the infinite distance, they get refracted and passing from one common point on the principal axis, and this point is called as principal focus. This is in the case of convex. What would happen in the concave lens? consider this is principal axis, optical center C1 and C2. If you again consider the object is placed at the infinite distance, the rays are coming parallel to principal axis. But because this lens is having the tendency to deviate the rays are going to travel like this. And we know that this kind of rays are called as divergent rays. So if you see carefully, these rays are not meeting, they are not intersecting really. So what we should do, we have to take them backwards. We know this phenomenon already, that if you extend this type of rays, this part of rays are called as virtual part. So this point is called as principal focus. So the fifth term to be remembered is principal focus. See again, if you place the object on left hand side, look at in the case of convex lens, please be careful. If you place the object on the left hand side, if you see carefully that its principal focus is on the right hand side. But we know that this is lens, you can place the object on any one of the side of lens. So what would happen if you have placed the object on the right hand side? So the rays will be coming from right hand side, they are parallel and they are going to focus on this side. So in the case of convex lens, there are two principal foci. One on that, just like the two centers of curvature, obviously there will be two principal foci. If you place the object on the left hand side, its principal focus is on the right hand side. If you place the object on right hand side, its principal focus will be on the left hand side. Let me repeat again. In the case of lens, we can place the object on both the sides. If we place the object on left hand side, its principal focus is on the right hand side. And if you place the object on right hand side, its principal focus is on the left hand side. One thing. Second thing to remember, in the case of convex lens, if you see carefully, the rays are really meeting. So in the case of convex lens, principal focus is always real. In the case of concave, what is happening? If you place the object on left hand side, look at this. Here we have placed the object on left hand side. The rays are meeting virtually on the same side, means on the left hand side. If you place the object on right hand side, what would happen? The rays were coming from right hand side. Rays were coming from right hand side. They are diverging on this side and they are going to meet on the same side. So in the case of concave lens, object placed on the left hand side, its principal focus is on the same side, means left hand side. If you place the object on right, its principal focus is on right. One thing. Second thing, in the case of concave, principal focus is virtual because the rays are virtually meeting on the same side of object. So remember, there are two principal foci, F1 and F2. Okay, and in the case of convex lens, principal focus or foci are real, and in the case of concave lens, principal foci is virtual. And now, based on this principal focus, the last term to remember is focal length. Focal length is the distance from, in the case of mirror, if you remember, focal length means the distance from P to F. So here also the same like this. Here instead of P we have O. So distance between O and F is called as focal length. But if you see here, we have two principal foci, so there are two different focal length. But here we are using the lens having the uniform curves on both the side. So focal length also will be same. Let us say this is O, this is F2, C2, F1 and C1. So the distance OF1 is called as focal length F1 and distance OF2 is called as focal length F2. If you place the object on this side, let us say here, so its focal length will be OF2, and if you place the object here, its focal length will be OF2. Recently discussed. The object on the left hand side, principal focus is on the right hand side. Object on right hand side, principal focus on left hand side. So these are the real focal length in the case of convex. What would happen in the case of concave? They are virtual. O, F1, C1, F2 and C2. If you place the object on left hand side, its focal length is also on the left hand side. And if you place the object on the right hand side, its focal length is also on the right hand side, F2. In the case of convex lens, focal lengths are real, and in the case of concave, focal lengths are virtual. So these are the 6 important terms which is associated with the lenses. How to draw the lens? You have to draw the lens in your notebook. So how you draw the lens? Already I have given you some measurement to draw the mirrors. If you remember, the height of mirror should be of 11 lines while drawing, and the radius should be 6 centimeter. Same logic is used here in the lens. The height of lens should be of 11 lines. Consider these are some lines of your notebook. 11 lines. So the 6th line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6th line. See, this is the 6th line, is the middle line. So it will act as a principal axis for you. 6 centimeter is the radius we have kept. So look at this. Consider this is 6 centimeter radius. Place rounder on the 6th line and draw one curve like this. So this is the first curve. Okay, so again it's a 6 centimeter radius. 6th line is acting as a principal axis. So this is first curve you have drawn. Now to draw the second curve, keep your pencil at one of the edge of this curve. Let us say here, this is the pencil you are keeping. Take the rounder and place it on the same line, having a 6 centimeter radius already. So put that point of the rounder on the same line wherever it reach. Okay, so this is point of rounder and here was the pencil, point of rounder, pencil, and draw the second curve like this. So this will be the second curve for you. This point and this point are C1 and C2 for you, and this is principal axis. And now draw the light central line like this. So this point will act as optical center for you. Now 3 centimeter, because the radius we have taken 6 centimeter, 3 centimeter on both the side will give you F1 and F2. Remember, if you jump more 3 centimeter, it will not be on C1. It will not be on C1, it is slightly away from C1. This point is called as 2F1, means 2 times the focal length distance. So in the lenses, we have no importance of C. We have the importance of F1, 2F1, F2 and 2F2. Okay, how to draw the concave lens? Again, this is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 11 lines. This is first line, 6th line and 11th line. Again, you keep 6 centimeter radius. Draw one of the curve like this. So this is your first curve you have drawn. In the case of convex lens, we have to keep pencil at one of the edge and take the round on the second side. But here in the concave is different. Now take out pencil and rounder both. Now this is the point on the 6th line. Go 1 centimeter away from this on the sixth line, place your pencil 1 centimeter away. So this is your pencil. Okay, now place the rounder wherever it reach, having the 6 centimeter it is already. Now draw the second curve like this. So this is your second curve, and here is your concave edge. We have kept this distance as 1 centimeter. So at the half centimeter you will have your optical center. Now draw the vertical light line like this. So this is optical center. 3 centimeter on both the sides. We will have F1, F2, more 3 centimeter. Again it will not fall on C1 and C2. So it is 2F1 and 2F2. Remember, there is no importance of C1 and C2 in both the types of lenses. So 6 terms connected to lenses. Important terms are there. Make the notes of this. That's all for today. Best of luck.